Hello, and thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend with me to review the IBH VWAP h.VWAP3.Delta study that's included in my IBH VWAP product for TradeStation. The IBH VWAP h.VWAP3.Delta study is an unconventional ZWAP score analysis of price and VWAP that may become your secret weapon for trading maximum excursions of price from VWAP. Features of this study include a choice of 5 different options for your VWAP reset, either on every intraday session boundary or daily at a specific time, first trading day of the week, first trading day of the month, or first trading day of the year. There's a choice of up to 3 different deviation band formulas, and these are the same formulas as I discussed with the h.VWAP3 study. You can have up to 1 static and 1 dynamic deviation band pair displayed. There's a choice of 4 different alert conditions. There is a programmatic interface to export VWAP to the strategies. And I've made every effort to make the default configuration perfect for most day trading usages. Since it's a study that is downloaded from the Trading App Store, you do not have the default button on your panels that you're used to with the built-in indicators and studies. So instead, after you get the configuration as you like, you would either use the Save Study group or the Save Analysis group functionality provided in the platform to save your configuration for use later. Let's take a look at the output of these 2 studies. h.VWAP3 calculates the VWAP, draws VWAP and the select bands in the price chart. So you can look at the price chart and see where VWAP is, and you can see where the band 1, band 2, and the upper and lower deviation bands. You can see that on the price chart. VWAP3.Delta turns that idea on its head. It displays its information in a separate subgraph, and rather than telling you the price of delta, tells you the deviation excursion from delta that price took in that bar. Similar ideas, but this allows you to compare more simply deviations across days, come up with suggestions and ideas of where the deviation, the maximum excursion might be for the current day. Now let's zoom into the output of h.VWAP3.Delta. You'll see there's 5 different plots. Let's start in the middle. VWAP delta is a histogram. When price is above VWAP, it's green. When price is below VWAP, it's red. The value displayed by the VWAP delta is the maximum deviation relative to VWAP that price made on that specific bar. Upper and lower delta are lines set by you, the trader. Default is plus and minus 2, and that allows you to set an alert when the deviation achieves the upper or lower delta. Dynamic upper and dynamic lower is calculations performed by the indicator to look at previous days performance of price versus VWAP and make an estimate for where the maximum excursion up and the maximum excursion down might be for that trading day. Let's take a look at the Inputs tab for this study. As I said earlier, you have a choice of 5 different options for when VWAP is reset, either on every intraday session boundary, at a specific time of a trading day, at the beginning of a week, or the beginning of the month. As with VWAP 3, you have the ability to control when alerts are first generated. As I said previously, I don't typically put any weight on excursions or retest of delta during the first hour, and since I usually put this on a 5-minute chart, I do not use any number below 12 for the first alertable candle. Band type, as with h.VWAP3, is either points, the common standard deviation formula, or the uncommon standard deviation formula. Show before first alertable is a true false, which allows you to either display the histogram value of VWAP delta or not before the alerts occur. And you'll see how this is useful when we discuss how we do the analysis of where to place these lines, either after market close or before market open. Upper and lower delta, think of those as your band 2 calculations from VWAP 3. If you happen to use common standard deviation, upper delta 2 standard deviations, lower delta minus 2 standard deviations. If you set alert upper delta or alert lower delta to true, when price crosses that deviation, you'll get an alert. Dynamic upper and dynamic lower controls the number of previous sessions that the indicator looks to calculate and analyze what today's maximum deviation may be, and you as a trader can set the indicator to alert on that or not. As I said earlier, I think the default input values are perfect for most day trade opportunities and usages. I think the ability to generate alerts when price makes an excursion above or below the different deviation bands is a key feature of this product. So let's take a look at how you turn alerts on to get the most timely delivery of the alerts. Update value intra-bar, set that to on tick by tick on the General tab. Do some research as far as when you think in the session excursions and retests of VWAP are relevant as trading opportunities. Set your alert for upper delta and lower delta on, and we'll show how to do some analysis on what to set those to, as well as set your alert for a dynamic upper and dynamic lower. And then on the alerts tab, enable and set the conditions as you see as most appropriate for your trading style. Let's take a look at how I set the configuration for my trading when I trade either the ES E-mini futures or the SPY ETF. First of all, I enable alerts. I set it to be a once per bar and clear the alert on the bar close. I enable tick by tick. I insert it on a 5-minute chart, and the way I use it is to determine the best excursions to fade. So to make analysis easy, I do show before first alertable. I change the upper and lower delta daily. I set alerting to true and the alerting on the dynamic upper and lower as true as well. And we will discuss how I do the analysis to come up with values for the upper and lower delta next. I'll go over the 5 steps I use to configure the indicator daily, and then we'll jump into a live session. But first, let's look at the words. I like to look as many sessions as possible, so I'll decrease the chart spacing. I take note of price behavior based on whether it's an inside day or an outside day, whether the market is trending up or down or flat. I investigate alternative values for the first alertable candle and the dynamic upper and lower, see how that impacts it, and then I adjust upper delta, lower delta, dynamic upper and dynamic lower based on these steps previously. Now let's take a look at what I do when I'm in TradeStation. You see before you the typical chart I create to do my pre or post market analysis of how a product moved in context to VWAP during the session. You have right now an SPY on a 5-minute. There's probably about 12 sessions here, 12 different days. On the top, in the chart analysis section, I have the standard h.VWAP3 installed, but I have band 1 set to be 0 or don't display. Other than that, it's all the default settings. That helps me visualize the way the day traded with regards to its location on VWAP and with regards to where the day opened and was trading versus the previous day. It's the bottom of the chart that gets a little more interesting. I've inserted the indicator VWAP3.Delta 3 different times. Now I've done this so that I can more easily visualize the maximum extremes of the price excursion based on different numbers of sessions in the past. Now the number of sessions I've chosen is 5, 10, and 40. So one instance of the indicator, the ones that display red, were configured with dynamic upper and lower set to 5. The green represents the indicator inserted when upper and lower are dynamic upper and lower are set to 10. Now you'll notice in this case, this instance, I have set the alert for the upper delta and lower delta to true, and this is the one that I will configure based on the way the day opens and where it opens with regards to the previous sessions. The blue line is printed or displayed by the dynamic upper of 40. Now what I'll do, the session is still within the first hour, so I am not alerting yet, and I'm not really looking at excursion, so I take a look at where the indicator hypothesizes the maximum excursion for the upper and lower to be, and in this case I can see that the most recent days it's really been, what's it look like, 1.8ish to 2. So if I want to get an early estimate of potentially the maximum excursion up, I'm going to set this at 1.8, and you'll see this line will move down. Now that's even a little lower than what the indicator thinks might occur, but I'm using this alert to help me become aware of a situation before it kicks in. Once I get the alert, then I will be able to focus here and see whether it's an excursion that I want to trade. Now on the downside, you can see that the last 3, there's no excursion down here. 4 and 5 has been pretty deep, and so it's down here at minus 2.5. I might in fact lean more on that, but 2.23 to 2.5, I think I would edit this and set it to minus 2.2. Now since I have the alert set on that, the day will continue. To be honest with you, the day is in fact completed. As the day progresses, you see what happens. Price did go beyond the 2.2 in fact, but I would have been alerted. I can use this as an indication that I can consider a reversion type trade of some sort. It's still early in the session, and so I am made aware of it by those alerts. You can see as the day progresses, in this case it did go even beyond where I thought maybe it would be, but the alert would have gone off, and once again I would have an estimate of a time when it may be appropriate to trade on some type of a reversion scheme. What do I think you ought to do next? There is an IBH VWAP sample workspace overview video. You can take a look at that. I'll go through all the different charts that are in the workspace. Download and review the documentation, review the sample workspace, and then you should be good to go. What I would like to do is thank you for subscribing, and if possible, please consider writing a review at TradeStation.tradingappstore.com/product/IBH VWAP. Scroll down to the bottom of the page where it's got the write a review button. Click there, and provide a review. I appreciate that. Thank you.